Welcome to Ole Walls House. It's me. It's your man. It's your main man. It's Ole Walls, and I'm back for the 125th time coming to you on a wonderful Monday afternoon. It is Memorial Day. Just want to start the show by saying a big thanks to the men and women in the armed services. Obviously, Memorial Day, a very solemn day to remember some of those who have sacrificed their lives for us. So just a big thank you to all those guys who have served for this country. Some have obviously given the ultimate price. So a big thank you to them and their families for being kind of in the rarefied air of incredible people. Back to funner notes. We got a fun show coming. We're talking baseball. We're talking some golf. We got the passing thoughts. We got the next OWH album. It's probably not a huge show today. Holiday weekend. Going to kind of keep this probably pretty short. I say that, and God knows what it'll end with. So if you guys could, you know all the deal. Comment, subscribe, rate, review, share, tell your friends about it. And then Liquid IV 20% off. If you're looking for 20% off Liquid IV, go to liquidiv.com or go to the link in the show notes below. Promo code is OWH, O for Ole, W for Walls, H for House. That gets you 20% off. You know the deal. All the great flavors, more electrolytes than your standard sports drink, more hydration than water alone. There's equitable access to water worldwide. All right, let's get into the show for the week. The actual discussion of the golf may be the least things we kind of talk about here on the golf this week. Davis Riley wins in a runaway. He finishes, 5 shots ahead of Keegan Bradley and Scottie Scheffler. He shoots an even par round of 70 on Sunday. 14 under is his total, 9 under for Keegan and Scottie. The news of the weekend, though, unfortunately, is a sad note. Grayson Murray found dead in his hotel room Saturday morning, I believe. At the time, no one knew what the story behind it was. He had been playing in the tournament. He played with Peter Malnati on Thursday and Friday. Withdrew after the 16th hole due to illness was the term used. And then, unfortunately, it came out later that he had committed suicide. There were some pretty tough interviews. Peter Malnati himself gave one where he was obviously quite broken up and quite emotional about it. Grayson Murray, someone who had been very outward about his struggles with alcohol, anxiety, depression, had gone to a rehab center. Had really had an up and down career where he came out as a young amateur and was winning tournaments and very highly touted. Went through a point in the PGA Tour where he kind of struggled, and it seemed he'd kind of gotten it together this year and really figured it out and won at Sony. And outwardly it seemed like everything was good. Unfortunately, that was not the case. I feel like a little bit of an idiot here. I'll put the sunglasses back on because I was going to plan to have fun with them. But yeah, it was unfortunately a very sad story. No, I have no connection to Grayson Murray. I can't say I was a Grayson Murray fan. Knew of his story, obviously, but it's sad anytime you hear something like that, obviously. And the PGA Tour offered to suspend play on Saturday after the news came out, and his family was adamant that he would want him to play on, and so play on they did. It was weird. I got a text from in a group chat about it that he died, and you're looking on Twitter and you're just kind of seeing all this stuff happen, and it's, again, for someone you have no connection to, you're not really a fan. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I was a big Grayson Murray fan. I mean, I was pretty indifferent about Grayson Murray. But it's still, it's very sad. And you just think about it seemed like he had figured stuff out. I mean, he'd won the Sony Open this year, a very big payday. Had probably been playing some of his better golf in the last few years. I believe he was engaged to be married. I mean, it seemed like things were going in the right direction for him. So, unfortunately, he decided to commit suicide, and he's no longer with us. And it's just it's that unfortunate reminder that it can look good on the outside and not be good on the inside. So I saw Harry Higgs gave a great speech. He has won twice in the last 2 weeks, as well as got engaged himself, and he made a great speech where he said, just talk to your friends, your family, let the people that you love know that you love them. I thought it was a very nice speech. You can look it up. He articulated it better than I could ever do. And he said, just be nice to other people around you. And it's unfortunate that things like this have to happen. So to have us, say those things and feel these things. So just a remembrance of Grayson Murray, and just remember that, the battle with mental health that people go through it's never ending. And when it seems like they've got it figured out, sometimes, deep down they don't. So just keep in touch with people, talk to your friends. If anyone, has battled it, reach out to them. Reach out to the people you don't think have battled it, because, you never know what someone's going through. So that'll be I guess that's all I really have to say. So we'll up it. I'll put the glasses back on. We'll have a good time again here. Davis Riley wins, kind of going away here. Keegan Bradley makes a run into second with a 3 under 67. Scottie Scheffler, does Scottie Scheffler suck now? He's not won 2 tournaments in a row. He's been beaten by like a whole 9 golfers since he started winning all these tournaments. Kind of a peculiar tournament. He starts off with a 2-over round, then lights up for 5 under to get to 3 under for the tournament, then shoots a little 7 under on Saturday, and he's back in it. And I'm joking with the roommate. I'm saying, hey, Scottie Scheffler's about to tee off. It's Sunday. There's a 4-shot difference between Davis Riley and himself. By the 4th hole, what's the difference? And the roommate said 2. I think I said 2 or 3 after 2, and then back down to 2 by 4. I was like, there's an early par 5. Scotty birdies the par 5. There's a bogey from Davis Riley. And it just wasn't the case. I didn't watch any of the golf, so I don't really know. But yeah, Scottie Scheffler, a very disappointing solo T2 finish, not solo T2, ties with Keegan Bradley. It's wild that we're in the process. We're like, man, what a disappointing week for Scottie. He finished tied second. Yeah, he's been beat by 9 total players. Beat by 9 total players since he's gone on his winning streak. He has lost 2 tournaments in a row. I'm okay with it. I think he needs to save him, because I'm going to take him in the U.S. Open in my pool. So, Scottie Scheffler. Who else? Colin Morikawa. Another good showing from Colin Morikawa. I know I kind of beat him up a little bit in the PGA, but he goes 68, 69, 67, 68. So not bad there. Sepp Straka, Pearson Coody, Hayden Buckley round out the T5s at -6. Then we get into some other. Lucas Glover, picked Lucas Glover this week. He made a nice Sunday 67 to shoot himself up into the top 10. The PGA Tour, where do they go next week? That's the Canadian Open. Look out, Adam Hadwin. Don't get dump trucked again. So we go Canadian Open Memorial Tournament, and then we head to the U.S. Open at Pinehurst, which all the golf snobs will tell you is a great fucking place, even though it produces dog shit tournaments, while Valhalla's terrible, but produces awesome fucking tournaments. So I'll let you be the judge of that. Okay. That's all I got for golf. Let's, wait, did I have something else? Hang on. Let me double check. I feel like there's one other golf thing I have. Hang on. I might not. I might just be hallucinating. Yep, I got the back-to-back wins for Harry Higgs. He's 1 win away from getting what they call the Battlefield promotion from the Korn Ferry Tour up to the PGA Tour. So, okay, yeah, that is it. For a 4-2 week out of the guards. Boy, oh boy, did we get that and then some. 6-0, back-to-back sweeps to go with the sweep from the previous week of the Twins. So the Guardians are winners of 9 in a row, folks. 9 in a row. 9 in a row, baby. Yes. Let's fucking do it. They get a good win. Tuesday, they win 7-6 in a close one over the Mets. 6-3 to go along with a 3-1 win on Monday from Wednesday. Then Friday night, after a day off on Thursday, Cleveland just absolutely takes it to the Angels. Jose Ramirez hits a couple home runs. In an inning, they go 1, 2, 3 in a row by Jose, Josh Naylor, and then David Fry. 3-4 Fry. They are currently... Is that a home run? Shit! It was just 4-1, and now it is 7-4 Colorado. It was 4-1 going into the bottom of the fourth, and now Colorado just hit a 3-run home run. Charlie Blackmon hits one. Cleveland winners of 9 in a row. They end up sweeping the Angels. And a lot of good things to say about Cleveland. Their bullpen has been fantastic. Bullpen ERA of 2.52, first in the majors. Their walk rate, 2.67, first in the majors. Their home run rate, 0.48, first in the majors. They have 17 wins out of the bullpen, second in the majors. And they have 18 saves out of the bullpen. This was as of, I think, Thursday. It was Thursday. They had 18 saves at the time, first in the majors. So just a lot of things to like. I believe I heard they have scored as many runs as anybody in the majors as well. I will look that up. But it's a team that, last year really struggled. I got to see sometimes here. It's a team last year that really, really struggled to score runs, and that's just not so much the case. I believe they're averaging 5.5, 6 runs a game. But then, again, that's not the case this year. Let me double check the team. The team runs this year. Runs? Come on over. If it'll let me. There we go. Maybe. Maybe not. Nope. Don't want hits. Don't really care about hits. I want runs. They're second in the AL. They must have been leading the AL at the time. They're 1 run behind the Kansas City Royals. So they must have been leading the AL because they're 2 runs behind the Dodgers, and the Philadelphia Phillies, who are just lighting it up lately, have 289 runs, 19 more than the second place Dodgers, as well as 63 home runs, 275 RBIs. Jose Ramirez is leading the AL, and I believe the last time I looked, the entire majors in RBIs. Yep, still doing that. 53 RBIs. Not hitting a great percentage. 265. His on-base percentage is pretty solid, 317. It's not, anything running away, but it's not terrible. Slugging 536, OPS 853. I think you're looking for OPS up above 900 here. But yeah, just a lot of good things to like. The starting pitching has been solid. You talk about a guy out of the bullpen. Nick Sandlin has really shown his merits in some tough spots where he's come in where, they're in a bad jam. And as I say that, they're down 7-4, and here comes Nick Sandlin. This isn't his usual spot. He usually comes in with the bases loaded, 1 or no or 1 outs, and he's got to get out of the inning. So that's a little bit of a new spot for him. But it's just fun. I mean, they were the second team in the league with 50 homers and 50 steals. Only the Kansas City Royals have been better. David Fry has been just an absolute killer lately. He's hitting home runs. He's hitting a great average. Kyle Manzardo has found a little bit of a step for himself. He at one point had hit 5 straight games or 6 straight games, and in 5 of those games his hits had been a double. So he's finding a little power to the alleys. That's good to see. Good to see. We're doing all this without Stephen Kwan, who's down in the minors on a rehab little stint now. So he's working his way back. Josh Naylor's kind of been on a little bit of the struggle bus lately as well. So I mean, this has been promising. This has been something I don't know that we were expecting out of Cleveland. They got the 36 wins through 53 games. It is tied for most in franchise history. I think they also did it in 95 or 9. No, I don't think 97 was the year they did it, but 95 maybe. But good things. It's been fun. 9 games in a row. it'd be nice to see him figure out this game with the Rockies, because the Rockies kind of stink and they just gave up a bunch. They're going to have to find a bunch more runs here coming in. They are going to get out of the fourth inning here as Sandlin gets somebody to fly out to left field to David Fry out there. I'm glad to see David Fry in the lineup more. That is nice. Like I said, the 9 wins in a row, 3 sweeps in a row. They got a 3-game set in Colorado with the Rockies. They wrapped that up Wednesday. 2 night games. I thought there was an early game in there but no, it wasn't. It was that they come back home and the Nationals are 2 of their 3 are earlier in the day games. With the Nationals, they got a Friday night game on a Saturday later afternoon and a Sunday early afternoon. Then the Royals come to town for a 3-game set. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that's going to be an important one before Cleveland heads back out on the road for the Marlins and then the Reds for a little 2-game set with the Reds there. So it's a lot to like, man. I mean, standings right now, they're a couple games ahead of the Royals, who had won 8 in a row. They finally lost last night. Royals killers at home, 21-8 at home. Cleveland pretty balanced, 18-6 at home, 18-11 on the road. But yeah, the Royals had won 8 in a row, 8 of their last 10. So they, you go on a 9-game win streak and you only pick up 1 game. It's pretty wild. But man, just a lot to like with Cleveland. They're fun. Like I said, Kwan's still out there. Trevor Steffen's still out there, obviously doing this without Shane Bieber. There's a couple other guys on the injured list that, if they come back, they might be able to add a little something. But this is a fun moment to be a Cleveland fan. There's not a lot of these. We don't get these all the time. So last year was pretty rough. When we got the 36, or I think it was when we got the 31 wins last year, it was 31-38. Obviously, it was like 31-13 this year. To see if I took that picture. Or I might have just tweeted that. Let me see if I can find it. It was something great. It was a great, distinction between last year and this year. Just absolutely, totally different. So here we go. Last year, the Guardians were 32-38. This year, the Guardians are 32-17. They've upped that to 36-17. So, only team in the American League with a better record is the New York Yankees. And I believe the only other team with a better record throughout the entire Major League Baseball is the Philadelphia Phillies, who are 6 games up now on the Braves in the NL East. The Braves just lost Ronald Acuna. They have got a couple other guys down, so they're in a weird spot. They're still 7.5 games out ahead of the Nationals, though, for second place. So they're still in a good spot. I mean, control the wild card in the National League at this point. Brewers and Cubs kind of battling around. Brewers got a little 3.5 game lead in the NL Central. Dodgers up 5.5 over the Giants on the NL West. Those both feel like leads that should grow. I was talking to my father-in-law. He does feel like the Brewers are kind of a fake team and that they're not going to hold up. Obviously, the AL East is a very strong division. The Orioles just a 1.5 games back of the Yankees. The Red Sox 27-27, 9.5 games back, but feels like there's more there than what there is. And then the AL West just kind of a dumpster fire out there. 28-26 leads it at the Mariners, but the Rangers are only 3 games back, and they're 4 games under 500. So just an interesting kind of little league out there. So yeah, I mean, all this to say, I'm pumped about Cleveland. If it's the top of the 5th, we're down 3 runs. Jose's at the bat. He's got 2 strikes right now. We'll just ride out this next strike with you here before we wrap up this segment. It'd be really nice to see them get a little something going here in the 5th. Maybe get a run back. Tighten the Rockies up a little bit. He's going to take a ball outside. Jose, he's got to be in the MVP talk. I know, again, his average is like 265, but he's hitting home runs. He leads the league in RBIs. He's doing it when it matters. He just absolutely ripped one directly at the third baseman. So that'll be an out. So we'll call it for this segment right there, and we will move on to the next albums. Here we go. We are now on to Linkin Park's debut studio album, Hybrid Theory. As many of these are, as a thing I've said in almost every one of these I've done, this is almost a no-skip album. I just was crawling through here. On the original one, not the bonus edition. The bonus edition adds some ones I'm not super familiar with. On the original album itself, 12 songs, there's one skip. I skipped Cure for the Itch. That's just not a song I like. Obviously, let's go back here. So debut studio album. This album debuts October 24th of 2000. And it was revolutionary, I feels like. It was in the rap rock kind of thing. You had the dual kind of lead singer thing here, with Chester Bennington, and I believe his name is Mike Shinoda. Mike Shinoda. They were kind of the dual lead singer to this, and it was different. It was hardcore. It was kind of rappy almost. It was a little screamo. It was kind of the electronic music. It was so different from anything like I had heard when I first heard this. I probably didn't hear it when it first came out. I would only been like 9. But by the time I got to like junior high, this was the thing. I remember I burnt both of these CDs. I don't know if I just downloaded the music, but I had both the first 2 CDs, Hybrid Theory and then Meteora, which is another one we'll do here eventually. But I burned them, and they were big for me, on days when we had junior high football games or basketball games. Get me hyped. I mean, you listen to this CD and you don't get pumped up. I mean, there's obviously, kind of the two most famous songs out of this are One Step Closer and In the End, which are, again, fantastic songs. And, those songs are incredible. And I don't know if it's just that you hear these songs forever and that kind of, makes you look for other songs, but they're not my 2 favorite songs on the album. It starts off with an incredible song, Paper Cut, which I was kind of playing just little pieces of in the background here. I don't know if I'm going to get kicked off or anything, but I'm going to go for it. I don't even know if you can hear this. If you can't hear that, I am very sorry. It might the mic might block out kind of things in the background. So Paper Cut is probably just what a great way to start it off, by the way. Just really gets yourself going. And then Runaway is another one. Plays for My Head. Just, again, this is one of those CDs that's just, straight from the get-go, you're rolling. And again, it was so unique. And then Chester Bennington is such a unique, incredibly talented vocalist. Unfortunately, someone we lost too soon. That just, he takes it to another level. And again, that paired with Mike Shinoda and the kind of the rap with the electronic and the turntable-esque kind of thing and the beats, and it was just so different from anything we'd kind of heard at that time. And Linkin Park really did live in their own lane. And there's no one who's done Linkin Park the way Linkin Park has done Linkin Park, obviously. There's just an awful, disastrous cover of Numb by MGK out there. Just desecrating one of the all-time incredible songs and one of the all-time vocal performances by Chester Bennington. And it's just desecrated by MGK's dumbass. Like, just awful. But thankfully, they haven't ruined anything off this Linkin Park Hybrid Theory album. And again, it's just incredibly different. I mean, Crawling, Paper Cut, on top of One Step Closer, and In the End, maybe their most famous song. And In the End is fucking so incredible. And I don't want to skip over it like I don't like it, but it's just like, it's out there. You know about it, but I have to go back to it and just say how unreal it is. So that's it. That's it for this week. Hybrid Theory, Linkin Park. Just, I got a junior high football game tonight. I'm queuing up some Linkin Park Hybrid Theory. I'm going to catch 2 pop passes over the middle for about a total of 8 yards. That's how hyped I'm getting. That's how hyped I was getting. 2 passes. One time I caught one for 20 yards. We definitely attributed to Linkin Park. So next week we have one of my favorite bands ever, a short-lived band. I think they only put out 3 CDs, and we're going to do their first one. The supergroup Audioslave, which combined the members of Rage Against the Machine after their lead singer left them with Chris Cornell, who was previously with Soundgarden, to create the supergroup Audioslave, and then their debut album, Audioslave. So that's what's coming up next week. So get your listens in for that, and we'll keep moving. For some passing thoughts. Okay. Let's start off with the NBA and NHL playoffs. Been catching more of the Timberwolves Mavericks. Been catching more of the Timberwolves Mavericks series than I have the Celtics Pacers. No real reason for that. Just kind of the way the cookie crumbles, if you will. Just happens to be the way the schedule falls. I've enjoyed watching the T-Wolves. They've lost every game. They're down 3-0. Anthony Edwards is fun. They blew a big lead in game 2, I think. And Luka hit that big shot and was talking some shit at the end of the game. And then they got back into it Friday night. No, Sunday night. I don't know. It's Monday. The last time they played, I think it was Sunday. They take so many fucking games off in between these fucking playoff games. They were down a bunch and got back into it, but just obviously couldn't get it done. Kyrie and Luka have been pretty good, I believe. But yeah, Timberwolves, fun to watch. I struggle rooting for the Mavs because how fucking often Luka is complaining. It's every time. Like, every time he touches the ball, if he gets bumped, it's like, oh! It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, constant. And then, hey, man, I get it. You earn the right to talk shit when you hit a game-winning shot, and you can motherfuck whoever you want. But it's like, after I've seen you whine and complain all fucking game long, it's like, when you're fucking talking shit at the end of the game, I'm like, all right, I've had enough. Like, if you want to just talk shit when you're fucking scoring, fine. But, like, if you're just complaining literally every time you get touched, it's tough. The Celtics, I saw, have been 7.5 or more point favorites in every game this playoffs. Did not pull the sweeps in either of the first 2 series. 4-1, 4-1, not much trouble. So it would be interesting to see if they can pull the sweep tonight, Monday night. So when this comes out, you'll know you may know the first entrant into the NBA Finals. Okay. Elsewhere, we'll stay kind of sports related while we're at it here. There's going to be let's do this. God, fucking Draymond. I mean, I don't know why. And this article acted like Draymond was intelligent, and I really question that. Draymond Green said that the NBA did not set them up for wealth. It's incredible for him to say that. Draymond Green is a guy who has made $177 million in his career. He's going to make something close to 255 once his contract runs out, and he'll probably get a couple million more along the way. Not to mention whatever he gets, he's already doing like kind of broadcasting duties or studio show duties with TNT. I believe Jordan Poole, according to this article I'm reading, is making $30 million a year, and Zach LaVine is making $45 million per year. I looked up a couple of things. The minimum NBA salary is $1.12 million. Sorry, I had to take glasses off to read here. It was $925,000. There's a very, 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 very real possibility that someone very soon in the NBA could make $100 million in a year. Steph Curry signed a 4-year, $215 million extension. Kevin Durant's making $47 million. LeBron's making $47 million. $47.5, a little over for both of them. I know those are outliers, but again, the minimum salary is $1.12 million. Here's what Draymond says. He kind of laid out 4 points here. As hard as we work to accumulate wealth, I get it, man. You worked hard. You're an incredibly talented athlete. You do something I could never do. You do something that 99.9999999% of people in the world could never do. I'm not saying you shouldn't make what you make. The market determines that that's what you're worth. I'm good. But don't tell me the league's not setting you up to fucking create wealth. You made $177 million. You're paid what you're worth. I'll grant you that. The way we're taxed. All right, motherfucker. Well, next time you have a chance to vote for somebody, vote for someone who's going to lower your taxes. We're all fucking taxed. Yes, you live in California. That sucks. Like, you're taking it up the ass. That's got nothing to do with the NBA setting you up for wealth. The way we're fined. And he went on this thing like, oh, because I say something wrong to a referee, boom, I lose $5,000. Oh, I get fined $100,000. My mom took 4 years to make $100,000. No one's forcing you to get fucking fined. It's not the NBA's fault that you're getting fined. Like, maybe don't be an asshole all your life. Maybe don't kick people in the nuts. Maybe don't get tossed out of 7 fucking games a year. Like, you're not required to get fined. And hey, if you get fined once, the fines ain't that bad. You're getting fined $100 because you're a fucking asshole. He's been fined $900,000 in his career. 900 out of 177 million. Shut the fuck up. And maybe just don't get fined. Maybe. Just don't get fined. Like, yeah, it says if I do something wrong, I lose $100,000. It took my mom 4 years to make it $100,000. This is funny. Draymond, it would also take your mom 10,200 years to make your career earnings on the court. Yeah, exactly. Like, just shut the fuck up, Draymond. Like, do these people think they're smart? Fucking Cleveland, they gave him another run. 9-game win streak's gonna end. I don't know. Like, does he think he's intelligent? And I only saw one clip. I haven't seen it in context. And Shaq's like, yeah, taxes in California. Like, no shit, taxes in California. Stop voting for the fucking people who institute really high fucking taxes then. Don't vote for the fucking mayor or the governor, rather, that's in favor of 14% taxes and the party that talks about wealth tax and a bigger death tax and another tax and a higher gas tax and a higher property tax. We're off point now. We're off point. Yeah, okay. The other sports related thing here. The videos of Scottie Scheffler were released by the Louisville PD. So there does need to be the caveat that these videos do have a blind spot to them. So of course, Detective Brian Gillis, who was on the scene and had the $80 pants damaged irreparably, and were no longer of use for those $80 pants. Did not have his body cam on, which is, I know, a shocker. A cop, in a moment when they arrest somebody and charge them with something pretty big deal, his camera just happened to not be on. We've seen it in a lot of scenarios. And hey, there are scenarios where I'm going to stand by police, and there are scenarios where I'm going to call a spade a spade. This is one of them. There's plenty of scenarios where you can stand up and say police are fucking assholes and they did a terrible fucking job. There's also scenarios where police are assholes and they did a terrible fucking job, and the person that was affected poorly by it is an asshole, and maybe what they got coming happened to be worth it. This is not one of those scenarios. This is a scenario where the video shows the cop was an asshole, the cop lied, and now the videos are out, and it seems like the mayor and the Louisville PD is like standing by it. They have disciplined Detective Brian Gillis, who, no, not for the first time, has been disciplined for one of the many times. Let's start with the videos, then we'll get to Mr. Detective Brian Gillis. So, the first video is from a light pole, and it is originally blocked out by a couple big vans. But basically what you see is Scottie's car come around the corner and turn into the Valhalla Golf Club at a very reasonable rate of speed, quite slow, the video makes it appear, and Detective Brian Gillis come running up, and I think he like bashes the fucking windshield, and he swings his what looks to be a flashlight so hard at the window. And then Scottie gets out and they escort him away. There's also a dash cam footage that shows something that looks pretty similar. He comes out of view where you can't see him. And again, there could have been something that happened in this out of view. But the way the rest of the video plays, it does not seem like this. Comes out, pulls in. Detective Brian Gillis looks like he tries to smash the fucking window out with his flashlight. And he's escorted away. I saw a video where Detective Brian Gillis comes walking over and, has a little chit-chat with some fellow colleagues. Like, I watch all this and I'm like, this was what we released, and we're like, yeah, we fucking got you. We got you, motherfucker. Scottie Scheffler. Mr. Scottie Scheffler. All he wants to do is talk about his wife and child and his faith. This guy, the guy who was essentially apologizing for a misunderstanding and, seeing his respective police after the event, we're like, yeah, we're fucking sticking him. Accused by Detective Brian Gillis, who this is the not first time he's been accused of a breach of rules. He's been accused of wrecking his vehicle and missing court. He was once suspended 5 days for doing donuts in his police vehicle with a civilian who was intoxicated while on duty. He's been given complaints. Pretty nice long rap sheet here. There's his stupid face. And there's the thing. Some of the complaints. Failure to miss court failure to appear in court 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 2 chargeable accidents that received written reprimand and mandatory driver's training for 1, and then an oral reprimand for the 2nd. A rules and reg. Evidence and property. Oh, so some evidence and property questions. Nature of complaint or reason of action. Pursuits. Policy pursuits. Primary unit responsibilities. Here's one that's very interesting. In 2021, Officer Gillis, who was Scottie Scheffler's arresting officer, was commended and recognized for issuing 108 citations in 4 hours. Seems legit. This guy appears to be a fucking shitbag. But don't worry, the video stands up for him. What the fuck are they doing? I hope fucking Scottie Scheffler sues these fuckers into oblivion. One last sports-related thing. R.I.P. to the great Bill Walton. One of the greatest college basketball players of all time. I should double check this. I saw this on Twitter, but I should double check. I believe this is true. If not, I'll have to edit this out. Yes, Bill Walton dies at the age of 71. One of the greatest college basketball players of all time. An incredible professional basketball player as well. One of the wildest announcers maybe ever, if not the wildest. Not necessarily my cup of tea, but I did appreciate just how fucking out there he was and how much he just stuck to what he did. You got to appreciate that, even if it wasn't my cup of tea, you got to appreciate just how himself he was through all the broadcasts that he did. Again, if I'm looking for someone to, give me the facts of what's going on out there, I mean, Bob Knight as a commentator was incredible. Jay Billis, people of that nature. But Bill Walton, God bless his soul. He was him. He was who he was, and he did it right. So, R.I.P. to the big fella. Hopefully He's following around the Walking Dead, the Grateful Dead, and dousing up some LSD or whatever the fuck he did at those things. All right, just a couple more things here, I believe. Was at dinner the other night, an in-law thing. Tried to get out of it, couldn't get out of it, by the way. Jeopardy was on the TV. The Jeopardy guys did not know a question. It was like, this Chris Farley and David Spade movie, the main characters encounter a deer on the road. What was it? Nobody knew it on Jeopardy. Tommy Boy, come on. I mentioned that MGK absolutely desecrated the song Numb, and just fucking Chester Bennington, one of the great artists, great singers of our lives, just desecrated by Machine Gun Kelly. A couple shows. Roommate and I watched Tires over the weekend. The Shane Gillis show, pretty funny. Kind of raunchy, as you'd kind of expect if you're a fan at all of Shane Gillis comedy. It fits right in. Very good. Just 6 episodes. You'll blow through them pretty quick. They're all like 20, 22-minute episodes. We've also been watching New Girl. New Girl is a very underrated sitcom. If you're looking for a sitcom to watch and haven't watched it, I'd suggest New Girl. Very funny, very lighthearted, very enjoyable. I think it's a very, very underrated sitcom. And then my descent into, I don't know that this is a descent into middle age, as the more I think about it, because the kid who was helping me at this shoe store, place called the Shoebox in Wisconsin, giant shoe store. They got everything you need: boots, sandals, golf shoes, basketball shoes, soccer shoes, running shoes, all this stuff. And they got a ton of people in there helping you. And the kid who was helping me was maybe in his 20s. Maybe. He was wearing some Hokas too. I bought myself a pair of Hokas. They were super comfortable. And I originally said it was my descent into middle age. But, now I'm thinking about, maybe it wasn't. But it could be. So some Hokas. Got myself some Hokas. They're really nice. I think that wraps everything up, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if there's anything I missed, but if there is, we'll see you next week. So, what do you say we go wrap this thing up, ladies and gentlemen? Closing time, everybody. As always, I just want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you for everyone who watches, who listens, who tells anybody about it, who just chats with me about it. I appreciate all you guys. So thank you. Thank you to producer Kevy, as always. We got more fun coming next week. Next OWH albums, Audio Slave, their debut album, Audio Slave. We got to talk more Cleveland Guardians. Hopefully they can, bounce back from, maybe not bounce back. I mean, they got 2 on, 1 out here in the top of the 7th with Jose, with Jimenez up and Jose on deck. So maybe they can get some runs here. NBA playoffs are going to be into the conference finals. The NHL playoffs will be into the finals. NBA playoffs will be in the NBA finals out of the conference finals. NHL playoffs could be into the finals by then, too. We have the Canadian Open. So we got a lot of fun stuff. Might need to do a little more in-depth check-in on baseball here sooner rather than later. So a lot of fun stuff still coming. So until next week, ladies and gentlemen, peace.